Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out some loose change, and realizing one of those quarters could be worth more than your house, your car, and maybe even your retirement plan. Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, hold on to that thought, because today we're diving into the story of the 2001 Kentucky quarter, a coin that ordinary Americans once used to buy coffee, but now has the power to change lives. And yes, you heard me right, the current market value of this little piece of metal is $1 million now. Before you roll your eyes and say, come on, it's just pocket change, let me remind you, collectors are paying millions for coins that most people overlook. And if you've got a jar of coins hiding in your closet, your retirement dreams might already be sitting inside. But here's the twist, not every 2001 Kentucky quarter is worth a fortune. Only specific ones, with very particular details, have crossed into millionaire territory. Stick around, because in the next 40 minutes I'm going to reveal what makes these quarters so valuable, how to identify them, and why time might be running out if you want to cash in. And don't worry, I promise this won't feel like a boring history lesson. In fact, I'll throw in a few surprises along the way to keep you on your toes. For example, did you know the Kentucky quarter literally celebrates horses? That means this $1 million coin might just be the first investment in history where a horse carried you to financial freedom without ever leaving the stable. Let's start with the basics. In 1999, the U.S. Mint launched the 50-state quarters program, releasing new designs for each state. Kentucky's quarter came out in 2001, featuring the famous Federal Hill Mansion, known as My Old Kentucky Home, and, of course, a majestic racehorse behind a fence. The Denver Mint produced millions of these quarters with the D Mint mark. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Millions were made, yes. But among those millions, a tiny handful came out with striking errors, unique mint conditions, or collector demand so high that their value skyrocketed. And one of these Kentucky quarters has now reached a staggering $1 million at market value. Hold on to that thought, because we're about to unpack the secret. Why some coins skyrocket in value. Rare coins become valuable for three main reasons: rarity, demand, and condition. Think of it like real estate. A small house in the middle of nowhere may not be worth much, but if it's in the right location, suddenly everybody wants it. Coins work the same way. The 2001 Kentucky quarter checks all the boxes. It's part of a popular series, it features design quirks, and most importantly, some examples were struck with minting errors, like off-center strikes, doubled dies, or unusually sharp details. Collectors chase these because they can't be replicated. Imagine explaining to your spouse that you spent $1 million on a quarter. You might be sleeping in the garage for a month, but hey, you'll be a millionaire in the garage, right? But jokes aside, here's where fear and urgency come in. Most people don't realize their loose change could be their ticket out of debt. And while you wait, other collectors are snatching up these coins, shrinking the chances you'll ever find one. Start by looking for the mint mark. The D should be clear and sharp. Next, check the condition. Uncirculated or proof-like coins command much higher value. And the Holy Grail? Coins with errors like doubled dies on the lettering, extra metal on the edges, or striking misalignments. One Kentucky quarter sold for such an astronomical sum because it combined perfect condition with a rare error. But what exactly was that error? Stay with me, because revealing that is like handing you the treasure map. Let's pause for a story. A few years ago, I was helping my uncle clean out his garage. He had jars and jars of coins he'd been tossing in for decades. We almost dumped them into a Coinstar machine. But something stopped us. We checked a few, and guess what? One of them was a rare quarter worth thousands. That day, I realized how close we came to losing life-changing money to a vending machine. And here's the truth, many million-dollar coins are discovered by ordinary people. They aren't in fancy collections. They're hiding in sock drawers, piggy banks, or even old coffee cans. That's why you can't afford to ignore the change in your pocket. Now, let's get into the practical side, how you can check, protect, and sell these coins for the highest return. Protecting and selling your coins first. Never clean your coins. That's like taking sandpaper to a painting, it destroys the value instantly. Store them in protective holders, and if you suspect you've got a winner, get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade can multiply the coin's value overnight. Then, when it's time to sell, don't run to your local pawn shop. Auctions, coin shows, and reputable dealers are where million-dollar transactions happen. Remember, you're not selling scrap metal, you're selling history, rarity, and art all in one. But here's the scary truth: the window of opportunity won't stay open forever. As more collectors grab these coins, fewer will circulate, and your chance to strike gold might vanish. So, let's recap. The 2001 Kentucky quarter isn't just pocket change. It's a piece of American history, a collector's dream, and for some, a ticket to $1 million lifestyle. But here's where urgency comes in: most people won't bother to look. They'll keep tossing quarters into parking meters, never realizing they just gave away a small fortune. Don't let that be you. Go through your change, check your jars, and search every coin with a sharp eye. Because while others are sleeping on their fortune, you could be the one turning 25 cents into $1 million. And before you leave, let me ask you this: would you really forgive yourself if you tossed away $1 million coin just because you didn't take 5 minutes to look? If you want to keep learning strategies to identify coins worth serious money, hit that subscribe button right now. I'll be bringing you more secrets, more stories, and more opportunities to build wealth from the coins most people ignore. Imagine digging through your change jar, pulling out a simple 25-cent coin, and realizing you're holding something worth more than your house, your car, and maybe even your retirement plan combined. Sounds impossible, right? Well, let me tell you about the 1965 no-mint Mark Washington quarter. A coin most people ignore, yet one particular example has shocked collectors by reaching a market value of $1.1 million. That's right, million with an M. Now, before you think, I'll never find something like that, let me remind you, every millionaire who struck gold with coins thought the same thing at first. They weren't coin experts. They weren't living in fancy estates. They were just everyday folks, like you, who happened to notice something others overlooked. This quarter wasn't even supposed to exist in the way it does. In 1965, the US Mint made a massive shift. Silver quarters were out. Copper-nickel quarters were in. But, during that changeover, some slipped through the cracks. Some rare survivors were born. And that's where the magic begins. While the government was busy saving money on silver, little did they know they were accidentally creating millionaires down the road. Talk about unintended consequences. It's like switching from steak to hamburgers, only to find out one of those hamburgers is secretly a gold bar. Stick with me, because in this video, we're diving deep into why the 1965 no-mint Mark quarter is so valuable, how to spot one, and most importantly, what this means for you if you're sitting on a collection of forgotten coins. And trust me, you'll want to stay until the end, because the final piece of this puzzle might just change how you see every coin in your pocket from this day forward. The journey and discovery. Let's start with the history. Before 1965, Washington quarters were made of 90% silver. But with silver prices climbing, the government decided to change the composition to a copper-nickel clad coin. That's why, officially, no silver quarters should exist with a 1965 date. And yet, a few did. Mistakes at the mint. Happy accidents. And those accidents are now worth millions. And now, here's where things get interesting. Not all 1965 quarters are created equal. Some were struck on leftover silver planchets from 1964. Some display unique errors in strike and condition. And collectors? They go absolutely wild for them. Imagine owning the coin that shouldn't exist, something that challenges history itself. But here's the real jaw-dropper. One of these 1965 no-mint Mark quarters crossed the auction block, and when the final gavel came down, the room went silent. The price? $1.1 million. One coin. One quarter. 25 cents transformed into a millionaire maker. Now, here's the question: how do you know if you have one? Because the truth is, millions of 1965 quarters were made. And most of them are just pocket change. But a handful, just a handful, are life-changing. So let's break down how you can tell the difference. First, the weight. A standard 1965 clad quarter weighs 5.67 grams. But a silver one? 6.25 grams. That tiny difference can mean the difference between pocket change and a 7-figure payday. Do you see why weighing your coins isn't just a collector's hobby? It could be your ticket to financial freedom. Now, let me ask you this: when was the last time you actually weighed your pocket change? Never? Exactly. That's why people miss opportunities like this every single day. Second, the edge. Silver quarters lack the copper-colored stripe that modern plaid quarters show. If your 1965 quarter looks solid silver from edge to edge, you might have something extraordinary. And third, condition. Grading is everything. A silver 1965 quarter in poor shape is valuable, yes, but in pristine, mint condition? That's when collectors fight tooth and nail, driving the value to the stratosphere. But here's the part nobody tells you. Even if you don't have the silver variety, certain minting errors from 1965 still fetch serious money. Missing details, double strikes, off-center images, each of these quirks adds thousands to the price. So ask yourself, what's hiding in your coin jar? Now, I know what you might be thinking. Okay, I get it. These coins are rare. But what does this mean for me? It means you're sitting on an opportunity that could change the trajectory of your life. Imagine this: you go through your old coins, find a 1965 quarter that looks promising, get it authenticated, and suddenly you're sitting across the table from a collector ready to hand you a check with more zeros than you've ever seen. That's not just luck. That's preparation meeting opportunity. But here's the danger. Every day that passes without you checking your coins is another day someone else cashes in while you're left behind. What if the fortune you've been waiting for has been sitting in your drawer for decades, and you never even looked? You don't need to invest thousands to start. You don't need connections. You don't need Wall Street or lottery tickets. All you need is awareness. A little knowledge, a bit of curiosity, and the willingness to act. That's how ordinary people build extraordinary wealth. Besides, think about how much fun you'll have telling your friends you turned a quarter into $1 million. That's the kind of story that gets you invited to every barbecue, whether you like it or not. So the next time you get change back at the grocery store, pause. Look at that quarter. Because one day, it might not just pay for a parking meter, it might pay for your dream house. If you found this video eye-opening, then imagine what else you could be missing in your pocket change. Don't leave your financial future up to chance. Hit that subscribe button, because I'll be bringing you more insider tips on rare coins, valuable finds, and strategies to turn everyday money into millionaire opportunities. Your journey to wealth might just start with the very next coin you touch. Imagine reaching into your pocket for some spare change and pulling out a coin so ordinary looking that you almost toss it into a vending machine. But what if I told you that this very coin could secretly be worth over $1 million? That's right. The 2021 P quarter, a coin you might dismiss as everyday pocket change, has shocked collectors with an astronomical value of $1.2 million on today's market. Now, before you shrug it off thinking, yeah, right, my luck is as good as winning the lottery, let me ask you this: how many times have you ignored a coin without even looking at it closely? Because if you've done that recently, you could already have missed the opportunity of a lifetime. Stick with me, because in this video, I'll reveal why this unassuming quarter is creating waves among collectors, what makes it so rare, and how everyday Americans just like you can turn forgotten change into financial freedom. But let me warn you, if you think this is just about coins, you're mistaken. This is about opportunity, timing, and the courage to act before it's too late. So let's dig in. The 2021 P quarter was minted in Philadelphia, and at first glance, it looks no different from the millions of others in circulation. But here's the twist: some of these coins contain minting errors and unique qualities that make them nearly impossible to replicate. It's these tiny differences, often overlooked by the casual spender, that turn a 25-cent piece into $1 million ticket. Think of it this way. Imagine two houses on the same street. They look identical from the outside, but one hides a vault filled with treasure. That's the 2021 P quarter. Most people will never notice, but those who do could change their entire future. And now, here's where it gets exciting. Collectors are scrambling, auctions are heating up, and these quarters are no longer just coins. They're financial weapons, tools that can pay off debts, build wealth, or even secure retirement. And here's the fear factor: every time you let a quarter slip through your fingers without checking it, you might be losing out on more than $1 million. But hold on a second. You might be thinking, yeah, but what are the chances? That's exactly what people said about the first person who found one of these quarters tucked inside an old coffee can. And when the bidding started, jaws dropped as the final gavel hit $1.2 million. And now, here's the cliffhanger. You're probably wondering, what specific features make this quarter so valuable? Well, don't worry, I'll get to that, but first, let's pause for a moment. Have you ever laughed at the idea of saving coins in a jar? Maybe your spouse rolled their eyes and said, "Why bother with that junk?" If so, let this be the moment where the joke flips. Because those jars, those little ignored stashes of change, might be sitting on a gold mine. The Philadelphia Mint produced these quarters during a transitional time, and certain dies used in the process created striking errors, double dies, off-center strikes, and even missing details. These errors transform a standard quarter into a collectible masterpiece. And here's the kicker: these errors are nearly impossible to spot unless you're looking for them. This creates a sense of urgency. Because with each passing day, more of these quarters are being discovered, sold, and locked away in private collections. And once they're gone, they're gone. The window to cash in could slam shut before most people even realize it was open. Now let me share a personal story. A few years ago, I dismissed a handful of coins my uncle handed me. He told me, "One day, these will matter." I laughed, put them in a drawer, and forgot about them. Years later, I found that one of those coins was worth thousands. Imagine the kick in the gut when I realized I had treated it like a worthless trinket. Don't make the same mistake. The specific details that can help you identify a valuable 2021 P quarter. Look for doubling on the inscriptions, weak strikes on the reverse, or slight misalignments that cause the image to look off-center. These aren't obvious mistakes, they're subtle, almost like secret signatures left by the minting machines. Collectors are obsessed with these details, and that obsession drives the price sky high. That's how we get from a quarter worth 25 cents to a jaw-dropping $1.2 million. And here's another cliffhanger. What if I told you that more than one type of error exists, and some of them haven't even been cataloged yet? Meaning, the next great discovery could literally come from the change in your pocket. So let's bring this home. The 2021 P quarter is more than just a coin, it's a reminder that opportunities often come disguised as ordinary things. Most people will overlook them. Most people will dismiss them. But a select few, the ones who pay attention, are the ones who walk away with life-changing wealth. Ask yourself this: will you be the person who tosses away a fortune because you didn't take a closer look, or will you be the one who seizes the moment, digs into your collection, and changes your future? Remember, wealth isn't just about luck. It's about awareness, action, and timing. Right now, you have the awareness. The action is simple: check your coins, research them, and if you find one, hold on tight because your financial life could transform overnight. Now, here's your call to action. If you want to stay ahead of the curve, if you want to know about every coin, every penny, every opportunity that could fund your retirement or even build generational wealth, then hit that subscribe button and join me on this journey. Don't let another $1 million coin slip through your fingers unnoticed. The future of your wealth could be sitting right in your pocket. What if I told you that the change rattling around in your pocket right now could be worth more than a mansion, a luxury car, and an early retirement combined? Imagine holding a simple 25-cent piece and realizing it could change your life forever. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most shocking stories in modern coin collecting, the 2006 P Mint Mark South Dakota $quarter coin, a coin with a current market value of $1.3 million. Yes, one coin, one quarter, worth more than most people will ever see in their bank account. Before you think this is just another exaggerated coin tale, hold on. This is real. And by the end of this video, you'll not only know why this particular quarter is worth millions but also how you could uncover one in your own possession. Because let's face it, your financial future might just be hiding at the bottom of an old coffee can in your garage. But wait, let me interrupt myself with a question. Be honest, when's the last time you even looked closely at a quarter before handing it over for a cup of coffee? See? That's exactly why people miss fortunes every single day. So sit tight, because what you're about to learn will open your eyes to a whole new world of wealth hidden in plain sight. Let's start with the basics. The 2006 South Dakota State Quarter was part of the famous 50 State Quarters program. Millions were minted, yes, but among them, a few rare pieces stand out. The ones with the P Mint mark, struck in Philadelphia, carry special varieties and errors that make collectors drool. Now here's where the excitement kicks in. Most people think these state quarters are just novelty change. They'll say, "Oh, I remember when those came out, I just spent them without thinking." And that's exactly where the fear factor comes in. Because if you did that, you might have literally spent $1 million coin on a gas station soda. Let that sink in for a second. Imagine walking into a store with $1 million coin in your pocket and trading it for a Snickers bar. Painful, right? Let me break it down. It's not just about rarity. It's about condition, striking errors, and historical appeal. Some of these quarters were minted with double die errors, misstrikes, or unusual anomalies that slipped past inspectors. Combine that with pristine condition, and suddenly, what was once worth 25 cents becomes a millionaire's prize. I'll tell you exactly what to look for in just a moment, but first, let's step back in time when these coins were released. I remember collecting a few myself, thinking they'd be neat keepsakes. Fast forward years later, I checked one and realized it was just pocket change. But what if I had looked closer? That question haunts collectors every day. And maybe, right now, you're starting to feel that tingle of curiosity too. Could one of those forgotten rolls of quarters in your house hold the key to a whole new lifestyle? Alright, back to the details. Here's what makes the $1 million South Dakota quarter stand out. Look at the obverse and reverse. Check for sharp details, no wear, no scratches. Then, here's the kicker: error patterns. Doubled lettering, off-center strikes, die cracks near Mount Rushmore's engraving. These details send collectors into bidding wars, and bidding wars mean skyrocketing prices. Just last year, one sold for an astronomical sum, climbing into the millions. Imagine being that seller, walking away with a check that sets you free from debt forever. If you're thinking, that'll never happen to me, let me remind you, somebody has to find these coins. Why not you? Let's talk about the lifestyle shift. A $1.3 million coin isn't just about bragging rights. It's about security. No more living paycheck to paycheck. No more worrying about retirement. No more stressing over whether you can afford to fix the car or pay medical bills. One coin could unlock a wealthy lifestyle that people spend decades chasing, but here's the urgency. Coins like these don't just sit around forever. Collectors are hunting, dealers are searching, and opportunities slip away. Every day that you don't check your coins, you risk missing out, and here's a little story to prove my point. A man in Pennsylvania once found a rare quarter sitting in a jar of change he'd saved for years. He almost cashed it in at the bank. At the very last second, he decided to check it online. That decision changed his life. He didn't just find a coin, he found his financial independence. Do you have jars of coins sitting around? Rolls of quarters you've never inspected? If you do, you might be sitting on a lottery ticket you didn't even know you had. We've walked through the history, the rarity, the emotional weight, and the potential life-changing value of the 2006 South Dakota quarter. We've talked about the fear of missing out, the excitement of discovery, and the urgency to act now. So here's the bottom line. You could ignore this, keep spending quarters like they're just pocket change, and miss out on millions. Or you could take control, check your coins, and possibly secure the kind of wealth that changes everything. The choice is yours. Will you treat your coins as pocket change, or will you start treating them as hidden treasure? And here's your next step. Go check your coins today. Look closely. Study them. And while you're at it, subscribe to this channel right now. Because every week, I bring you stories and strategies that reveal the hidden wealth sitting in plain sight. Don't let someone else beat you to it, this is your wake-up call. That next coin you touch could be the one that changes your future. Imagine walking into a gas station, pulling out a handful of change to pay for a cup of coffee, and handing over a coin that could secretly be worth more than the car you drove there in. Sounds crazy, right? But what if I told you that the 2004 Texas $quarter coin sitting in someone's pocket right now has a market value of $1.4 million? Yes, you heard that correctly. A single quarter that could transform your life. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, "Come on, it's just a quarter," let me stop you. This is not a rumor. It's not a gimmick. It's a reality that coin collectors and investors already know about. And if you're not paying attention, you could literally be spending away $1 million fortune without even realizing it. Here's a question for you. How many times have you brushed off loose change as nothing more than pocket junk? That innocent little coin tray in your car? That jar of quarters on your dresser? One of those might just hold the key to a wealthier future. Not every Texas quarter is worth millions. You need to know the exact details, the traits, the mistakes that make an ordinary coin extraordinary. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. Stay with me, because if you leave now, You might miss the one piece of information that could make you a millionaire. Let's start with the basics. In 2004, the United States Mint released the Texas quarter as part of the legendary 50-state quarters program. On the reverse, you'll see the outline of Texas, a star, and the word Texas proudly etched across it. More than 450 million of these coins were minted in Philadelphia alone. Now, that number sounds huge, doesn't it? But here's where the magic happens. Not all of those coins were created equal, some were struck with tiny errors. Others survived in pristine, untouched condition, hidden away before they could be scratched, dropped, or passed through vending machines. And in the rarest of cases, a combination of both happened. That's where the $1 million price tag comes into play. Imagine going fishing. The lake is massive, full of millions of fish. But somewhere in there is one golden fish. Your chance of catching it is slim, but if you do, your life changes forever. That's exactly what collectors are doing every day, casting their nets into circulation, hoping to reel in that golden quarter. And now, let's talk value. An average 2004 Texas quarter might buy you a stick of gum. But the rare specimens, those with flawless condition, grading at MS68 or higher, or struck with dramatic minting errors, are commanding eye-watering prices at auctions. And here's the kicker, one recently sold for a staggering $1.4 million. Pause for a second and think about that. A quarter, selling for more than most people's dream homes. Does that make you look at your loose change differently? But here's where it gets exciting and a little scary. People unknowingly spend these coins every single day. One person might use it at a laundromat, another might drop it in a parking meter, and someone else might toss it into a coin machine without a second thought. Meanwhile, another lucky person digs it out and cashes in for millions. The fear of missing out should make you rethink every single quarter you've ever handled. Time is not on your side. Every day, coins disappear, get damaged, or are melted down. The window to find one in excellent condition is closing. And if you don't know what to look for, you could literally hand over your fortune for 25 cents. First, pristine condition. If your coin looks like it's been chewed on by a lawnmower, forget it. But if it's crisp, shiny, and sharp in detail, that's a great start. Second, errors. Off-center strikes, double dies, missing details, these mistakes turn ordinary coins into treasures. Finally, grading. Professional grading services are the gatekeepers between pocket change and $1 million coin. Here's a little humor break before we get too heavy. If you find one of these coins, don't try to clean it with toothpaste and a toothbrush. That's not how you polish a fortune, it's how you destroy it. Leave the cleaning to the professionals, or better yet, don't clean it at all. Oh, now, let me connect this to you. Maybe you're retired, maybe you're hustling at work, or maybe you're just someone looking for a way to break free from financial stress. This coin represents more than money. It represents opportunity. Imagine what you could do with $1.4 million. Pay off debts, buy that dream home, travel the world, leave a legacy for your family. But here's the cliffhanger. Most people will never find this coin. Not because it's impossible, but because they don't take the time to look. They don't educate themselves. They let opportunities slip through their fingers. Will you be different? Here's the truth. The 2004 Texas quarter is not just a coin. It's a symbol of hidden wealth waiting to be discovered. It's proof that fortune can hide in the most ordinary of places. And it's a reminder that sometimes the smallest things can create the biggest changes in your life. Simple. Start looking. Go through your change, check your coin jars, ask your friends and family if they have old rolls of quarters lying around. Don't dismiss a single coin until you've given it a proper look, because here's the urgent part. Every day, someone else is searching too. And if you don't take action now, they might find your $1 million coin before you do. Now let me leave you with this thought. Life is full of opportunities disguised as ordinary moments. This quarter is one of them. The question is, will you recognize it when you see it? Or will you spend it away without realizing what you had? If this video sparked something inside you, if it made you rethink the coins in your pocket, then do yourself a favor, subscribe to this channel. I'll continue to show you how everyday coins can unlock extraordinary wealth. Don't just watch and forget. Act. Because the next coin you find could be the one that changes everything. Imagine reaching into your pocket right now, pulling out a handful of change, and discovering that one single quarter, just 25 cents, could be the key to a fortune. What if I told you that the 1995 Washington quarter, something most people completely overlook, has been sold for as much as $1.5 million? Yes, you heard that right. One coin, a simple piece of pocket change, could buy you a mansion, a luxury car, or secure your retirement. Now, before you run to flip over every quarter in your wallet, let me tell you, this story isn't just about money. It's about opportunity, timing, and knowing how to recognize hidden value when others miss it. Because quarters like this don't just fall into your lap, they reward those who are prepared. But here's the catch. Most people throw away their chance without even realizing it. They treat coins like clutter, junk at the bottom of a drawer. And that mistake is costing them more than just spare change, it could cost them millions. So let's break this down. We're going to walk through the history of the 1995 Washington quarter, why it's so rare, what makes it worth millions, and how you can position yourself to recognize and sell valuable coins. By the end, you'll not only know how to spot $1 million quarter, but you'll also understand why holding onto coins could literally change your life. Maybe gave it away at a vending machine, or slid it across the counter for a coffee? Imagine if that was your $1 million quarter. Feel a chill yet? That's why this video matters. Stay with me, because in just a moment, I'm going to reveal the exact details collectors are paying top dollar for, and why the 1995 Mint Mark quarter isn't just rare, but historically significant. Let's rewind to 1995. The US Mint struck millions of quarters that year, but tucked among the ordinary pieces, a select few left the presses with extraordinary qualities. Errors, minting irregularities, and pristine condition examples changed everything. The Philadelphia Mint, designated with the letter P, produced these coins. And here's where the magic comes in. A handful of these 1995 quarters emerged with striking details, sharp edges, and in some cases, rare errors that made them unlike anything else in circulation. Collectors hunt for these like treasure hunters searching for gold. Now let's talk money. In recent auctions, the 1995 Washington quarter has fetched as high as $1.5 million. That's not a typo. And no, it's not just hype. These aren't coins tossed around in soda machines. These are coins in near perfect mint condition, with errors that make them one of a kind, and here's the real kicker. Most people who've owned these coins never realized what they had. They sat in jars, rolled into paper sleeves, or worse, were spent without a second thought. That fear, that you may already have handled one without knowing, is what should keep you checking every coin you touch. But don't panic yet. Let's slow down and dig into exactly what makes this coin special. First, condition. Collectors prize what's called MS or mint state coins. If your 1995 quarter looks flawless, with no scratches or circulation marks, you might be holding something extraordinary. Second, errors. Double die strikes, off-center minting, or unusual metal composition are all golden tickets in the coin world. These quirks turn a 25-cent coin into $1 million marvel. Third, demand. The collector's market thrives on scarcity. Fewer surviving coins means higher value. And the 1995 quarter hits all the right notes: scarce, beautiful, and loaded with mystery. And now, let me pause with a pattern interrupt. Have you ever dropped a quarter in the couch cushions and thought, who cares, it's just a quarter? Next time, you might want to tear that couch apart like a detective in a crime show. Because yes, even your couch could be hiding a fortune, and here's where urgency comes in. Every year, fewer of these coins remain untouched. More are scratched, lost, or destroyed. Meaning your chance to find one shrinks by the day. If you hesitate, you risk letting history and wealth slip through your fingers. But how do you actually go from finding one to selling it for millions? That's where Act 3 comes in. Let's imagine for a moment. You find the 1995 quarter, you've confirmed it's the real deal, and now you're standing at the edge of possibility. Verification. Don't guess. Get your coin graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. This is the difference between a coin worth face value and one worth millions. Market strategy. $1 million coins don't just sell at garage sales. They move through auctions, collectors, and private sales. You need the right marketplace to connect with buyers who are willing to pay what it's worth. Wealth planning. A sudden windfall can be life-changing or life-ruining if you don't manage it well. Imagine cashing out a $1.5 million coin and turning that into investments, real estate, or retirement security. That's not just luck. That's strategy. Here's a cliffhanger for you. What if I told you that there are other coins in circulation right now, just as ordinary looking, that could be worth even more than this 1995 quarter? Coins that might already be in your home, waiting to be discovered? Stick with this channel, because I'll be revealing those in upcoming videos. So, let me wrap this up. The 1995p Washington quarter is more than just a coin. It's a symbol of hidden wealth, of opportunities overlooked, of how something so small can change everything. If you're serious about creating financial security, about living a wealthy lifestyle, and about not letting history's treasures pass you by, then this is your wake-up call. Don't just think of coins as spare change. Think of them as keys to your future, and here's my challenge to you. Right after this video, go check your coins. Search through your jars, your wallets, even those dusty drawers you haven't opened in years. You never know what's waiting. If you found this inspiring, make sure to subscribe right now, because the next video could reveal the coin that makes you a millionaire. Time is running out, and every day counts. Don't miss the chance. This is more than a story about a quarter, it's a story about the possibilities sitting right in front of you.